Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Thursday, the 26th of November 2020. Thanksgiving Day in the US today, so happy Thanksgiving to all of the US subscribers. So yesterday's main news is that global stocks set for best month ever as dollar dumps to near 3-year lows, and it's going to go a lot lower as well when Creepy Joe gets in and starts printing like crazy. We'll look at some printing later, which is going to be from the UK. So let's have a look at yesterday. The market's incredibly quiet, of course, because we're still in this situation of the market trading sideways to higher. So I'm just going to whiz through this. Yesterday was half-day trading in the US as well. So yesterday morning, the DAX trading straight above the 200 MA. It moved up in the futures market from the DP, managed to sit on the BRN, and then moved up and headed towards the close and also the high. So green bars there to begin with, and then as prices hit the close and at the previous bar's high, you can see the selling starting to come into the market. So prices had moved up this far, which looks around 70 points before hitting the close, and then ended up hitting a brick wall. Prices traded sideways and then moved sharply lower, coming back through the 200 MA and the 20 bar moving average. Prices traded sideways. Didn't think this was going to get filled as expecting a straight reversal, but it got filled right on the BRN, and then at this level immediately we can see in this bar here compared to the previous bar that the volume was 90% of the previous bar, and we're sitting at the BRN as well, so it's likely we're going to see prices reverse from this level. Plus, if you look over to the left, you can see that once prices got back above the BRN there, the big round number, that prices move back to the upside. So when you get this situation like this, plus we've got the DP sitting here as well, if we get through, then it's likely to reverse off the DP as well, as the market is long in the daily chart. And if it's a bullish market, then if prices are above the DP, they're likely to continue to the upside. And that's what we saw here as prices came back. And you can see this by the huge volume that is put in on this bar. The buying takes place in the bottom and the market is held, and then prices are brought back. Now they stop at the 200 MA. Albeit briefly, they tried to trade through the 20 bar as well, and then eventually they drive through this area. So you can see this became a bit of a resistance, but prices aren't closing below the 5 bar moving average, and that's a key indicator here. We've got the one there, and then I suppose this one's just below, but they're still holding at this level and then moving back to the upside. And there you go, that one moving back. And then we get no follow through. You can see this from the volume low. The objective achieved is move back, and then we'll see the market reverse again, and then we get another sell signal. This time the market fills this one slightly higher, but again we've got buying pressure there straight away. In this one you can see it there, the volume is greater than the previous bar, and also we're sitting at a retracement of around 78% at this level as well. So prices need to take out the BRN, the scalp, and the DP will get down to this level. The good thing here is that we saw the market going up on nothing in this area, so that there's a good chance that we could, on this occasion, move prices to the downside. But we don't know that until, of course, it starts to move lower. And again, you can see how they brought back off this BRN in the one bar. But the difference between this price bar and this one is the volume. We don't have that same volume. It's a lot lower. So the buying here is likely to be the shorts closing out the longs. And also we've got the news out as well shortly. So the market reverses and then trades down to the DP level, and they're moving the stop to break even just to see what will happen. And immediately you see these big bars here. Even though it's selling, the price bar has closed off the lows, so there is buying inside of this bar, and you can see this if you go down to a smaller time frame, which I'll do some videos on actually, because you can see inside of the smaller time frames, in this case a 1 minute chart, where you'll spot the buying beforehand. So then we've got the news out of the trade, and then it's just a matter of waiting for the news. And we see how the market's holding at the DP level there. It's just hugging the line. Eventually it breaks away, trades down to the BRN there, and then also trades sideways. And this is again indicative of the market at the moment, waiting for the Thanksgiving and half-day trading. I'm just going to move over to Forex Factory, because I want to just have a look at the US unemployment claim. Forecast, or the previous, was 748. Forecast was 732. Came out at 778. I knew it was higher. So here the US, I mean, it's never actually got back on its feet. You've got the stock market at record highs, 30,000 in the Dow. And you can see through here that we're still getting, 750,000 people a week that are the initial job claims. And it's just staggering that this is not picked up. I mean, we're into millions here, but it doesn't matter. Ignore that, and we'll carry on with moving the market to the highs. The manipulation is just breathtaking, but then there's no surprise to me. It's been like that for the last, goodness knows how many years, 12 years now. So the news was bad, but it was converted to good news, which seems to be the pattern at the moment. Market stuck at the 200 MA and then treading water until the Dow opened, which moved to the downside, which we'll look at in just a moment. The DAX, trying to move to the upside, puts in a sell signal and then starts to reverse. The 200 MA is in the way, and fortunately it just manages to hold those. We've got further potential weakness, and then the market reverses and heads down. And then again we've got more news. Market trades to the scalp, and then we've got the news, so it's a case of get out. So not a lot to be made there. We've got this news at 3. We've got the revised UM sentiment, which we can see there. That's coming out exactly as forecast. And then the market's not doing a lot. There was other news later in the afternoon. You see our prices just reversed to move to the upside, but there's no great momentum in this market at all. I mean, when you see that there's 50 points between these two lines, very, very quiet, which is not a bad thing in one sense, and I'll show you why when we look at the implied volatility, as a future benefit that's coming down the line. So you can see the market there just sideways as the US opened just for a few hours before the stock market actually closed. So let's have a look at the Dow first, because yesterday the market was holding when the market was trading at the DP level in the morning. The Dow was sitting at the 30,000 level. And I've said before that when you make these milestones, you generally get a pullback before the market's free to move higher. And yesterday we saw that, but it took a moment or two. They did their damnedest to hold this market. And you'll see in the pre-market session yesterday morning, when the DAX was sitting on the DP, so was the Dow. This is the 30,000 level, this red line here, and you can see how they held this all through the morning, trying to keep the market above that 30,000 and on the DP. But as soon as the US opened, you'll see there the market just moved sharply to the downside, and then that was it until the session ended and the market traded sideways, and it's now starting to make its way back and moving to the upside. But we'll look at more detail in the DAX with regards to this. So yesterday we saw the market moving lower, but we're above the 5-bar moving average. We have been now for the last 1, 2, 3, 4 days. This is the 5th day, and we could end up going back to here because there is no selling resistance today in the Dow. That said, I have seen a Thanksgiving day where the market has reversed and moved sharply to the downside as well. So it's a matter of trading what we see, but generally 8-9 times out of 10, when there is the US is closed, the market's free to move to the upside. And that's what we're seeing on the overnight from the DAX. It started out sitting on the DP and the 200 MA there, then it's moved lower, and then you can see it's come back above both of these here and here. So it's at the moment it's got the all clear for takeoff to the upside, but of course it could sell off at the open. Alternatively, it could trade in a very, very narrow range today. Be warned, the US is closed. It could be a very painful sideways day today as well. So they're the three options. I mean, I know they're obvious, but it's a difficult one to call because we've got this situation at the moment where the volatility is more or less very, very tiny, trading to the downside and starting to coil. And if you look at this where it's color coded, and we just go back to these areas here, you can see that when we get these sideways to lower greens here, you will see that you eventually end up with corrections. Now these corrections don't look very big, but they are. It's just that the virus correction there back in January and February is extreme, but these are all corrections, and you can see the volatility changing. We know that the daily charters close below the 20 bar moving average because we got the red there as well, which is why I've color coded this. As a visual person, it makes a lot more sense to me. But you will highlight all of the corrections, and what it does, it indicates that there is a potential correction coming as well, and that's what we're seeing here in the daily chart as the market is sideways to higher, still above that 5 bar moving average. That's the key thing at the moment. That's indicating its short-term strength is still moving to the upside and making the higher lows as well. The previous day's low is not being breached again. That's an area where you would want to buy off when you have a bullish market like this. But when you've got a correction like we've got here, then you're looking to get short off the high until the market is corrected. So let's have a look at some other news just before we finish. You probably saw this briefly. This is the government's borrowing. Wishy-washy was out yesterday. Net government borrowing is over 200 billion just for this year. It's actually more than that. And you'll see that, I think it's here, the economy to shrink by 11.3% this year. It's going to be more. I'll tell you that now because they're committed to destroy everything to build back better and have full control of everything we do. That's what the agenda is. It's not a conspiracy theory. Go and look at the World Economic Forum, I should say. I was just thinking about something else. 280 billion. It commits another 280 billion to get UK through COVID crisis. I mean, it's just insane, isn't it? And it's not even necessary as well, but don't get me started on that. Anyway, news for today. Well, there is no news, is there? Because the US is closed and we've had all the news. So like I say, we've got a situation where we're either going to head for the highs, there's no selling, we're going to have a shakeout while we can and take profits, or we're going to be extremely quiet and trade sideways. So that's the blatantly obvious three things. I know that. But that's you have to look at the options of what the market is likely to do before you start trading it, and then you can take measures accordingly. Okay, that will do it for this one. If there is anything else to report, I will let you know. But as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.